then. So welcome to the public information session regarding the current flooding situation within the Thompson-Nicola Regional District. My name is Priscilla Kazarian. I'm currently acting as the EOC Emergency Operations Center's Information Officer with the Thompson-Nicola Regional District. Today's Tuesday, November 23rd, and it's 2 p.m. Before we get started, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge that we connect with many First Nations communities across our vast regional district. And today we're located in the Kamloops to Secwepemc territory, situated within the unceded ancestral lands of the Secwepemc Nation. The TND appreciates the partnership we have and respect the territory and beautiful land on which we are meeting today. So before we get started, a little bit of an overview of our presenters today. We have the Ministry of Transportation on the line to provide an update on highways in and out of the TNRD, including rural roads. We then have BC Hydro on the line to provide an update regarding power outages affecting the Thompson-Nicola Regional District. We then have Interior Health on the line to provide an update from their perspective as well, and Emergency Management BC to give some information regarding the Disaster Financial Assistance Program. At the end of our presentation, the Thompson-Nicola Regional District's EOC, I'll be reporting on behalf of them to provide an update from our EOC as well. So a recording of the meeting will be posted following this meeting on our Facebook page, our website, as well as our Twitter and all social media channels, including YouTube. So I will just get started here. We'll start out with the Ministry of Transportation. For presenters, if you're able to please state your name, spell your name, and say your position with your agency, that would be greatly appreciated. Do we have Modi on the line?
Good afternoon. Yes, Greg Bruce, Ministry of Transportation and Infrastructure. Did you copy that?
Yes, all good.
Okay, just give you some information. I'm also just some background. I'm working in the District Operations Center with the response. Are you looking for the update now, or are we doing introductions?
Update first, yeah, that would be great.
Okay, sorry, I thought we were just calling for an introduction, so sorry for the pause. So thanks a lot for bringing me into your call this afternoon. It's a great time to be able to provide you guys an update. It's been a few days since we've done that. So I'll run through the current routes and status first. So Highway 3 is open, and that's for goods movement and essential travel only, and it's designated for the heavy commercial vehicles. There are sections of single lane alternating traffic east of Hope. The highway was closed for a short period of time yesterday. We had a washout on the shoulder, but reopened with single lane alternating traffic. And it just took us a bit of time to do an assessment, make sure it's safe, and then the highway was reopened again. And just to, I want to remind everyone that DriveBC is our best way of communicating with the public and with all of our stakeholders. That update happened before I was aware of the closure in the operations center, so it happened very, very quickly. So keep an eye on that. It is a dynamic situation. We do our best to keep you informed, but in that case, it actually was out there before I was even aware. So checkpoints have been established to ensure essential travel only, and traffic volumes surprisingly have been fairly low. We're also talking closely with the chain of supply people, so the people that control the grocery movement, the drugs movement, fuel, and keeping them updated. And we're letting them know that there is more capacity for the commercial vehicles. Just to let you know, there have been a few people that have been turned around, different things, like folks. We had one that was going to an Airbnb, one that was going, well, basically just personal use. I think we had about 5 of them so far that we've turned around. So the checkpoint's working. The Highway 99 is the second route that is open between the interior and the coast, and that is designated for passenger vehicles and vehicles under 14,600 kilograms, so light traffic. Traffic volumes are also low on Highway 99. That's a bit more challenging route, in fact, quite a bit more challenging route in the province. And we're just cautioning people to be traveling appropriately, make sure they have their winter tires on and speeds are reasonable. You may have seen there was a very short closure yesterday afternoon on Highway 99, and it was actually moved into single lane alternating fairly quickly. A commercial vehicle was stuck under the underpass while transiting to Highway 12 in the segment of Highway 99 that's not controlled with the checkpoint, so between Lillooet and Highway 1. The Highway 5, Hope to Merritt, that highway sustained significant damage, and we don't have an estimated time of opening yet, but we are working towards that. Just a time of opening, not that it's going to be soon, but just to try and give people a sense of how long that closure is going to be. It is very significant damage, and it will be a considerable time to bring that back into service. Highway 5A, that's I mentioned 5A because it's the first route north after leaving Hope on Highway 3. It's open. That road is flowing traffic, but we're actually encouraging traffic to use Highway 97 north if they're moving off of Highway 3. Just a better route of travel, more dependable. Also, 5A takes you into the Merritt area, which of course has been evacuated, and services are really limited along that corridor, but it is open. So ministry's continuing work, removing debris, getting our geotechnical assessments done, and we're out there inspecting bridges to determine fixes and also ensuring that the existing structures are still in good order. We're still in the assessment stage for many of the structures on these corridors that are closed, and as we open corridors, we're identifying more areas that need assessment. So the priority moving forward is to continue working on these structures and building temporary structures where required to get these roads open to double lane traffic. I want to back up for one moment. Highway 8, so I didn't mention that in my corridor status. It's also heavily impacted and will be some time before it reopens. It's very, very significant damage on Highway 8. And Highway 1, also for status, significant damage. We're working really closely with with CP Rail on that route, and you'll note that CP Rail was able to open up their rail, I believe, last night, and we're continuing to work to reestablish the highway there. I know folks are aware that most people are going to be aware that there's a series of fairly significant weather systems that are going to hit the province. I just want to assure you that the ministry is getting route-specific forecasting throughout the day to just ensure that we've got people safe out there and that response can continue. So all highways that I've mentioned all continue to have active construction zones as the crews repair the damage, and drivers need to obey traffic control and drive with care and caution to ensure that the safety of the workers and the travelers out there. Our maintenance contractors are out in full force on these key routes, but it's important that drivers do their part and drive to conditions, use caution, and expect delays. There will be delays along the corridor. Drivers are reminded that BC winter's tire regulations are in effect, and to make sure that they're outfitted appropriately. And I'm just going to remind you one last time, DriveBC, check that for the latest road conditions and updates for highways throughout the province. Thanks very much.
Great, thanks so much for your update, Greg. For all our presenters on the line, once you've finished your update, feel free to sign out. We know that you're very busy right now, but if you're welcome to stay to watch the rest of the update as well. So next up, we have BC Hydro. If you could again state your name and your position, that would be great.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Might be having a little bit of a technical glitch here with Priscilla, with Marianne being able to log on, but I will try to speak for the two of us. Again, it's Greg Jackson, and I'm the Senior Field Operations Manager for the I'll start off with following suit with the ministry's update of roads. Our infrastructure tends to follow the highways, as folks are most aware. So the significant damage that was indicated there has affected our infrastructure equally. So access to those locations and abilities to do damage assessment and to create restoration plans has been challenging. We were able to do our aerial reconnaissance that was mentioned on the last call. that came back with a lot of vital information to start making decisions. I can tell you from that review that, again, very, very significant damage to our infrastructure and of course the highways. I'll give a bit of a breakdown of that damage. I'll start with Highway 8 first, which was from BC Hydro's perspective, the most affected. We have 90 plus poles that were lost or completely destroyed in the damage between the sections of Merritt to Spence's Bridge. For the section from Merritt up to Dot Ranch, a little less affected than the northern section, but between 10 to 15 poles completely lost, and 2 sections of highway that are line parallel that is going to require reconstruction for us to get access to. The area from Shacken north to Spence's Bridge, that is the most severely affected, and there's 80 plus poles there that were lost and will require replacement. So, and of course, all the road infrastructure. So we are in the very, very preliminary stages of trying to look at alternative routes and alternative means of service. And I will have comment, or BC Hydro will have comment on that in following meetings, but we are working on alternatives here with that. The Highway 5 Coquihalla area, there are 5 poles requiring some replacement and about 12 to 15 that are in some other states of repair along the actual Coquihalla Highway corridor. The Coldwater Road area, where intersection with the Highway 5, that is our largest area of damage, and there's roughly 20 poles in that location. And we're working actively with Ministry of Transportation as well as Trans Mountain Pipeline, as we all are located in that area, doing some preliminary roadworks and relocations and restorations to be able to get into to actually repair our infrastructure. That affects directly 90 customers in that area. So the Brookmere locations and our customers fed to the south along Highway 5. Restoration efforts there are going to be time consuming. They will be into the latter part of next week at the earliest for that location. Moving on up to Highway 1, as was indicated by the Ministry of Highways, we are actively working with them at the washout locations between Boston Bar north up and through to Nikaman. There are 3 locations of priority for BC Hydro right now where we're working with MOTI. We have crews actively in all those locations supporting and are doing our best to relocate lines for road reconstruction and railway reconstruction and of course our infrastructure rebuilds there. The number of customers there, most customers are connected, but for folks that live in those areas, you've been seeing auto dialers to your electrical accounts about planned power outages. I'd just like to put that out there on this call that as part of these efforts, we are reconfiguring our distribution circuits to be able to keep as many people's lights on while we do construction, but there will be pockets of customers that will see interruptions over the next number of days. We will make our utmost efforts to contact you with as much notice as we can as we work through this. The situation is quite fluid and moving, so we're doing our best to be heads up with this, but those outages are a direct result of restoration efforts in the area. The Merritt area, which is being attended to now, we have crews in there actively working, and I understand the community is doing a bit of a gradual return there. So that is BC Hydro's update for this afternoon. And Marianne, I don't know if you were able to get on the call.
I'm here, Greg. Yes, sorry about that. The only thing I wanted to cover very quickly is just the bill credits for evacuees. So for anyone who is under evacuation order for 5 days or longer, you will qualify for a bill credit. You will not be charged for electricity during this time. I know we've had some questions from folks asking if they should cancel their accounts, and that is not necessary. We will be waiving your consumption fees during the time that you are under evacuation order. So we also do have flexible bill payments for when you return home. And this is something that we do automatically. So we proactively monitor evacuation orders year round, and that will be applied to your account by BC Hydro. So there's no need to call us or to follow up. The one thing I will say though is that we do apply these credits after the event. So after the evacuation order is lifted, we will then apply it to your account, and it does take some time to process. So for a bit of context, folks that were impacted by the wildfires this summer and were under evacuation order, they received those bill credits in October, but they will be applied to your account. And again, there's no need to call us or no need to close your account. And that's it from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your update. Next up, we have Interior Health.
It's okay with Amanda, I'll go first. My name is Ian Wood. I am the Director of Clinical Operations for Thompson South Caribou Primary and Community Care. Merit falls under one of the sites in my portfolio. So we are looking at resuming services at Nicola Valley Hospital, effective Friday, this Friday coming up, starting from noon and looking at limited hours. So noon to 6:30 p.m. and then throughout the weekend, 7:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We'll be looking at this again after the weekend and on Monday to see if we can start moving to extended hours, if not full emergency 24/7 care again. We will also be looking at bringing in home health supports, home support services back into the community with as long as we can find the staff to bring back in. We will have a number of safety checks that need to be done at the hospital to ensure that the staff and people using the facility will be coming back to a safe place to be using. Also looking at a partnership with the local Inca-Clapma First Nation to provide some services at the hospital. This is yet to be determined, but we'll be looking over that in the next couple of days to see if we can provide something there. The phase 3 of the reopening for the city of Merritt will include our Coquihalla Gillis House. So this is something we're not looking at the time, but when we have more details, we'll look at repatriating our residents back along with the staff once we get that confirmed. Once everything has been confirmed as far as dates, a communication will be coming out for Interior Health to the community so they're all aware. That is it from me. I'll hand it over to Amanda.
Hi, everyone. Amanda Anderson, a team leader for environmental assessment under the Environmental Public Health program. I just wanted to take a moment just to acknowledge that as there is the phased approach for repatriation, that returning to home is a traumatic event, especially for small children. So we don't recommend having a big trip, maybe just 1 or 2 people once you have the okay from the TNRD and the orders have been lifted to go back in and to do an assessment, find that plaque card and make a plan. And it's really important to go back with a fully charged cell phone, camera, pen and paper to start some documentation processes for insurance. And if you don't have insurance, Red Cross is an available resource, and there is a link to that on the Interior Health website. There are many resources available on the Interior Health and EMBC websites for cleaning up after a flood, looking at current public water notifications. Many are on a do not consume or a boil water notice currently. And those of you that have your own wells, there is information for water well disinfection, testing, and also food safety after a flood. Also, sewage systems will be affected if you have your own. So there is some information as well on our Interior Health website on sewage floodwaters and assessing your sewage disposal system for damage after an emergency event. There are contacts for environmental health officers to help assist with information. And if your power was cut for more than 3 hours, just be prepared for the contents of your fridge and freezer. If the power was out for a significant amount of time, You might want to duct tape it closed. Contact your insurance provider, as they will require information before you dispose of anything. And in regards to your own individual well, want to make sure that it's being flushed and shocked. Again, there's information on our public website for individual well owners, and also for septic systems to get in contact with an authorized person to conduct an assessment. As for cleanup, lots of soap and water, wearing gloves and other personal protective equipment. Really important to take some breaks and really pace yourself, reach out to others for help, and really look after your mental health. There are resources out there through the Canadian Mental Health Association as well. So please take that time to help each other and just assess that, plan, prepare for what you'll be going into. Thanks.
Thank you so much. That was a great update. Next up, we have Emergency Management BC. Shelly. I'm just going to share my screen here, Shelly.
Sure, thank you.
Can you see the presentation?
Yes, I can.
Perfect.
Great. Hello, my name is Shelly Valentine, and I'm a recovery officer with the Community Recovery Branch at Emergency Management BC. Our unit administers the Disaster Financial Assistance Program, DFA. I know that many of you have been affected by the flooding, and I want to let you know that we're committed to helping you. The DFA team are prepared to do everything we can to help you get financial assistance as quickly as possible, and are bringing in extra staff to assist with this. We are here as part of a broader community response. With the help of your community, friends, family, volunteers, support groups, and local businesses, and DFA from the province, the goal is that together we can help you recover from this disaster. I'm going to take an opportunity to give you a brief overview of the DFA program, how to apply, and at the end, I'll walk you through the online process. Next slide, please. DFA is a provincial program that operates under the Emergency Program Act. Our goal is to provide the maximum help we can within our program's regulation. Who is eligible and what items we cover is based on legislation. Every application is evaluated using the same criteria, and the compensation we pay is consistent for every event, regardless of the type of disaster or where you're located. You will also need to know that DFA is a limited program that helps replace or restore essential items and personal property that has been lost or destroyed. DFA alone can't cover all your losses. It is not insurance, but we can help restore the essentials to make sure that you have a roof over your head and that your home is safe and dry. DFA is authorized for disasters such as flooding, where losses are not insurable and other programs are not available. I would encourage you to contact your insurer as a first step, and they will determine if any portion of the damage is considered an insurable loss. Before your file is assigned to the field evaluator, we will contact you to discuss your insurance, the specifics of your situation, and provide direction on what documentation will be needed. If you're an eligible small business or farm owner, we can compensate for essential items that have been damaged or destroyed by this flood. In brief, to be eligible for DFA as a homeowner, it must be your principal residence, and there must be more than $1,000 of eligible damage. Financial assistance is calculated by the total amount to repair or replace eligible items, less $1,000 deductible, and then paid at 80%. Next slide, please. Now, the steps to apply. Number one, confirm the date and the area you live in has a declared event. Number two would be determined that the category you're going to apply for. And number three, to apply for DFA, you need to complete and sign the first 2 pages for the homeowner and the 3 pages for the small business and farms of the DFA application. The Appendix A and B, the cleanup log and content list attached to the application do not need to be submitted with the application. These documents can track cleanup hours and damaged items by room. These two documents can be provided to the evaluator along with receipts and any photos during the site inspection. You can also have your broker complete the insurance template and have it mailed directly back to our office, or emailed would be preferred. If you are applying for a small business or farm owner, this needs to be your major source of income. Please be aware that the program will be asking for the financial information listed on the application to establish this. To expedite this process, it would be beneficial to have that information readily available when requested by the recovery officer. Number 4, once you've got the application is received in our office, it will be reviewed to ensure that it meets the eligibility criteria. Once this has been established, your file is assigned to an evaluator who will contact you to discuss the next steps and potentially set up a site visit. After the site visit, the evaluator will submit a report to our office where it is reviewed to determine if eligible and the payment is authorized. We then email or mail the applicant the confirmation letter followed by a check. Next slide, please. Now, how do you find the DFA program? You can go on to any web browser such as Google Chrome Explorer and type in the search box DFA space BC. And the first hit that will choose our program right at the top. Click with your mouse and the next slide, please. After you're clicking on this page, you'll see that will get you right on to financial assistance for the homeowner and the farms and small businesses. And from there, you'll be able to apply with step number 3. Next slide, please. So once again, how do you contact DFA? We're available at our toll-free line, 1-888-257-4777. And you can obviously email us as well to our generic inbox, dfa@gov.bc.ca. And I will be available for a few more minutes to take questions if anybody has any. Thank you.
Great, thanks so much, Shelly. If anybody has questions, feel free to put them in the chat. If not, I believe those numbers and that email is also the best way to get any information regarding the DFA process. Is that correct,
Yes.
Shelly?
That'd be great. Thank you so much. And then a recovery officer can get back to them right away with their specific information and questions for sure.
Good. And we've also, on the Thompson-Nicola Regional District's website, we've also featured the DFA information as well. So those of you, there's many different avenues to access the information regarding the DFA process and program.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much. And thank you all to our presenters. That was some really great information today. Again, for our attendees, this presentation is being recorded and will be posted on our website, including sharing out on all our social channels, including YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So I will now go into an update from the Thompson-Nicola Regional District's Emergency Operations Center. I will first start by sharing my screen, as we do have some updates with regards to evacuation orders and rescinds. So for those of you who have not utilized our evacuation status map before, I really encourage you to do so. It has all of our evacuation orders on this map, as well as if there are any alert areas or all clear areas, it's all uploaded to this map. So in order to get here, you are to go to the homepage of the Thompson-Nicola Regional District. You can go to the current emergency orders or emergency alerts. I'll be picking the orders today. And once you go to this screen, it will then have the evacuation status map button here. And this is what we're seeing. So we have rescinded an order today for 51 properties in the Brookmere area. I'll just zoom in here and show the group what I'm talking about. So you can see here the green is all clear, and there is one property in the Brookmere area that currently remains on order. So that's a new update as of today. If you have not seen that, it's updated in our map. If you're looking for a certain address, again, as a reminder, for those of you who haven't seen the evacuation status status map before, you can search specific addresses with this little magnifier here up in the corner if you're wondering about certain properties throughout the Thompson-Nicola Regional District. And so that is the updates on evacuation statuses as well as orders today. Just going to stop sharing my screen. Okay, so some more information from the Thompson-Nicola Regional District's EOC. We have been out to do some rapid damage assessments over the last few days and over the weekend with regards to structure loss. So for those of you who are returning to Brookmere today, I think Amanda definitely provided some really great information with regards to returning residents for those areas, as well as anybody returning to their homes during this time. So definitely referencing the Interior Health website. We will be posting this information as well on our Thompson-Nicola Regional District website for you to access this information regarding returning to your residence. We want to thank all residents who have signed up for our Voyant alerting system. For those of you who haven't, we really encourage everybody to do so. This is our emergency notification system. So when we are issuing evacuation orders or alerts or even all clears, we do issue it through this system. You can set a pin in your map for a certain address in order to receive notifications for that specific location. In order to do that, you can go onto our Thompson-Nicola Regional District's emergency services page, and you'll see register for emergency alerts on that page. The Ministry of Transportation updated us today. Again, we want to direct everybody for the most current information regarding roads, access, conditions, and closures. DriveBC is the best web page for that. So we encourage everybody to reference that web page to keep up to date on all of the current road closures and conditions. Any further information regarding the floods within the Thompson-Nicola Regional District will be posted on the TNRD webpage. We avidly use our Facebook and our Twitter pages to get as much information out as possible, and also referencing your local news outlets. And again, registering for those Voyant alerting notifications is really highly encouraged for those Thompson-Nicola Regional District residents. Before we sign off today, I have a note here in the chat. For anybody needing support with their pets, you can please call the BC SPCA hotline. So that's 1-855-622-7722. Again, that's anybody who's needing support with their pets. You can please call the BC hotline at 1-855-622-7722. For those of you looking to contact the TNRD Emergency Operations Center, you can contact us by phoning us at 250-377-7188. Again, 250-377-7188. This information is also on our TNRD webpage. You can also email us at emergency@tnrd.ca. We're currently operating 7 days a week. They're around 8 a.m. to around 5 p.m. But feel free to call us anytime as well as email us if you have any specific questions. So this really concludes our update regarding the Thompson-Nicola Regional District's flooding situation as of today, November 23rd. I thank everybody for coming. And again, this presentation will be posted on our YouTube channel as well as shared out on our Facebook channels as well as Twitter. And have a safe day. And we hope to see you at the next update meeting, which we'll likely be planning in the next few days. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at emergency@tnrd.ca. Thank you.